If you want to be an A+ student, you need more than just intelligence. You need the mindset, the discipline, and the habits that separate the top 1% from the rest. The difference between students who succeed and those who struggle isn't talent, it's the way they approach learning. Are you ready to break free from distractions, push past failures, and master the mentality that guarantees success? This is the moment to level up your game and take full control of your future. Welcome to Motive 8 Track, where we unlock the mindset of champions. 1. Kill the excuses. Success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect conditions. It comes to those who make things happen despite the circumstances. If you want to have an A+ student mentality, the first thing you need to do is eliminate excuses from your vocabulary. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'm too tired, I don't have enough time, I'm not good at this subject, or I'll start tomorrow? These are the stories we tell ourselves to justify inaction. But here's the truth. Excuses are nothing but a comfortable lie. Let's be real. There's always time. If you truly want to achieve something, you will find a way. It's not about having time, it's about making time. If you can spend hours on your phone, scrolling social media, watching YouTube, or texting friends, then you have time to study. You just need to shift your priorities. Excuses keep you stuck in the same place while others pass you by. The students who get top grades aren't necessarily smarter than you, they just refuse to make excuses. They don't let circumstances dictate their success. They take control, they own their time, they take responsibility for their results. Think about the most successful students you know. They're the ones who study even when they don't feel like it. They show up to class prepared, they do the extra work. They don't blame the teacher, the syllabus, or the difficulty of the subject. They find solutions. Now, ask yourself, are you making progress or are you making excuses? If you constantly find yourself saying, I'll do it later, you're setting yourself up for mediocrity. Later turns into never. The best students don't operate on feelings, they operate on commitment. They know that action leads to motivation, not the other way around. If you wait until you feel like studying, you'll always be behind. And here's another thing. Excuses breed regret. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Do you really want to look back and think, I could have done better if only I had put in more effort? Because that's what happens when you let excuses take over. If you struggle with motivation, the first step is simple. Stop giving yourself an option to fail. Eliminate words like maybe and later from your mind. Decide that you are going to succeed no matter what. Stop looking for reasons why you can't and start finding ways that you can. Commit to a no excuses policy starting now. If you don't understand something, ask. If you feel tired, push through. If you're distracted, remove distractions. The more you train yourself to take action despite obstacles, the more unstoppable you become. Success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's earned by those who refuse to make excuses and do the work. 2. Train your focus. Focus is the superpower that separates the best from the rest. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, notifications, entertainment, everything is designed to pull you away from the work that actually matters. If you don't take control of your focus, you'll never reach your full potential. Most students don't have a learning problem, they have a focus problem. They sit down to study, but within minutes their phone buzzes, they check a message, scroll for just a second, and suddenly an hour has disappeared. Sound familiar? Now imagine the top students, the ones who always perform well. What's their secret? It's not just intelligence, it's deep, undistracted focus. When they study, they give it their full attention. They enter a zone where nothing else exists except the material in front of them. That's how they absorb more information in less time. If you want to develop an A+ student mentality, you must train your mind to focus like a laser. That means eliminating distractions before you start. Put your phone on airplane mode, turn off notifications, and set a clear time limit for your study sessions. Mental focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. In the beginning, it may be difficult to sit and study for long periods without getting distracted, but over time, your ability to concentrate will improve. Another key to mastering focus is being intentional. Before you start studying, set a clear goal. Ask yourself, what do I need to accomplish in this session? What's the most important thing I should focus on? How will I measure my progress?
When you have a clear purpose, it's easier to stay engaged. Mindless studying, where you simply go through the motions, leads to poor retention. But when you study with intensity and intention, you absorb knowledge faster and retain it longer.
Your ability to focus determines how successful you will be, not just in school, but in life. Those who can concentrate deeply will always outwork and outperform those who are constantly distracted. Your future belongs to you, but only if you can train your mind to shut out distractions and focus on what truly matters. Master, don't memorize.
Most students make the mistake of treating studying like a checklist. They think that if they go through their notes, underline some key points, and repeat information a few times, they'll be ready for exams. But that's not how true learning works. Memorization without understanding is like building a house on a weak foundation. It might stand for a while, but sooner or later, it will collapse. If you want to be an A+ student, you need to go beyond memorization and master the material at a deeper level. Mastery means fully understanding a concept to the point where you can explain it in your own words, apply it in different situations, and connect it with other knowledge. It's the difference between knowing something and owning it. Rote memorization might help in the short term, but it's not sustainable. The moment the exam is over, most of that information will be forgotten because it was never truly understood. Instead of trying to cram facts into your brain, focus on learning in a way that sticks. Ask yourself why something works, how it connects to other ideas, and how you can use it in real life. When you truly understand something, you don't need to struggle to remember it. It becomes part of you. One of the best ways to ensure mastery is to teach what you learn. If you can explain a concept clearly to someone else, it means you really understand it. Teaching forces you to break information down into simple terms, which helps your brain process it at a deeper level. If you're studying alone, try teaching an imaginary student or even recording yourself explaining a concept. The more you engage with the material, the better you'll retain it. Mastery also requires understanding the bigger picture. Instead of treating each subject as a collection of isolated facts, look for connections. How does this topic relate to what you learned last week? How does it apply to real-world problems? When you connect new information to things you already know, you create a web of understanding that makes learning easier and more meaningful. Your brain is designed to learn by doing, not just by seeing. This is why practice is more powerful than review. If you're studying math, don't just read formulas. Solve problems. If you're learning a language, don't just memorize vocabulary. Use the words in sentences. If you're studying history, don't just read facts. Analyze why events happened. The more you actively engage with knowledge, the more it becomes part of you. Many students struggle with difficult subjects because they never take the time to truly understand the basics. If you don't have a strong foundation, everything else will feel confusing. Don't rush through the fundamentals. If something doesn't make sense, go back and review the building blocks. A+ students are never afraid to revisit the basics because they know that strong understanding is what sets them apart. Mastery also comes from curiosity. Instead of seeing learning as a chore, see it as an opportunity. Be curious about the world, ask questions beyond what's in the textbook, seek out extra resources, videos, and discussions that expand your understanding. The students who perform the best are not just those who study the hardest, but those who are genuinely interested in the subject. When you're curious, learning becomes easier and more enjoyable.
4. Work when others rest.
Success is built in the moments when no one is watching. When others take breaks, relax, or procrastinate, high achievers are working. They don't wait for motivation, they create it through action. An A+ student mentality is about going the extra mile, putting in effort when others won't, and refusing to settle for average. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is simple. The successful ones do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. Most students do the bare minimum. They study just enough to get by. They start preparing only when exams are near. They look for shortcuts and avoid challenges. But the top students, they operate on a different level. They put in consistent effort every day, long before deadlines approach. They don't wait until they're forced to study. They take control of their own education. The most successful students have a mindset that separates them from the crowd. While others say, "That's too hard," they say, "Let me find a way." While others give up after one failure, they learn from it and try again. They don't let difficulties stop them. They use them as stepping stones to get stronger. Your level of effort determines your level of success. If you put in average effort, you'll get average results. If you put in extraordinary effort, you'll achieve extraordinary results. This applies not just to studying, but to every part of life. The people who rise to the top are the ones who put in the work when others are resting. Discipline beats talent every time. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you do have to be the hardest worker. Talent without effort is wasted potential, but effort, even without natural talent, can take you further than you ever imagined. The students who achieve top results aren't always the most gifted. They're the ones who refuse to settle for less than their best. One of the biggest differences between top students and average students is how they use their time. The average student waits until the last minute, crams, and hopes for the best. The top student plans ahead, stays consistent, and builds knowledge over time. Instead of wasting hours on distractions, they invest time in growth. They know that every minute spent wisely is a step closer to success. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The question is, how are you using them? Every time you choose to work while others rest, you separate yourself from the competition. Every extra effort you put in adds up. Success isn't built overnight. It's built in the small choices you make every day. One of the biggest traps students fall into is waiting for the right moment to start. They say, "I'll start studying tomorrow," or "I'll work harder next semester." But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The only way to get ahead is to start now, to work now, to push yourself now. The students who achieve the best results are the ones who take action immediately, without waiting for the right mood or the perfect conditions. Your future is being shaped by the choices you make today. If you want to stand out, if you want to achieve results that others only dream of, then you have to be willing to do what others won't. Work when others rest, push when others stop, stay disciplined when others get distracted, because in the end, success comes to those who are willing to earn it.
5. Eliminate distractions. The ability to focus deeply is one of the greatest advantages you can have as a student. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, and they are designed to steal your time, attention, and energy. If you want to achieve an A+ student mentality, you must take control of your environment and eliminate anything that pulls you away from your goals. Most students don't fail because they lack intelligence or ability. They fail because they allow distractions to dictate their lives. Every time you stop studying to check your phone, reply to a message, or scroll through social media, you break your concentration. It takes time to regain focus, and before you know it, what should have been a 1-hour study session turns into 3 hours of wasted effort with very little productivity. Distractions come in many forms, but they all have one thing in common. They pull you away from what truly matters. Technology is one of the biggest culprits. Your phone, laptop, and television are powerful tools, but they can also be dangerous traps if you don't control how you use them. The best students are ruthless about minimizing distractions. They turn off notifications, put their phones on silent or in another room, and create a workspace that is free from unnecessary interruptions. They know that every minute wasted on distractions is a minute taken away from their success. Social media is designed to keep you hooked. Every time you check your phone for just a second, your brain gets a small hit of dopamine, which makes you crave more. Before you know it, minutes turn into hours, and you've lost valuable time that could have been spent learning and improving. If you are serious about achieving top grades, you must break this cycle. Limit your time on social media. Set strict rules for when and how you use your phone, and be intentional about what you give your attention to. Your environment also plays a crucial role in your ability to stay focused. If you try to study in a noisy, chaotic place, your mind will struggle to concentrate. The best students create an environment that supports their learning. They find a quiet space, organize their materials, and set up a study area that signals to their brain that it's time to work. If you share a space with others, communicate your need for quiet time, and use noise-canceling headphones if necessary, small changes in your environment can have a huge impact on your productivity. Self-discipline is the key to mastering focus. The ability to control your impulses and resist distractions is a skill that must be developed over time. The more you train yourself to stay focused, the easier it becomes. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to concentrate for longer periods. The top students are not superhuman, they simply have better control over their attention. They understand that success is a result of small, daily choices, and they choose to focus on what truly matters. 6. Develop discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. The difference between students who succeed and those who struggle is not intelligence. It's discipline. The most successful students don't wait until they feel like studying. They make studying a non-negotiable part of their routine. They don't rely on motivation, which comes and goes. Instead, they develop the ability to take action regardless of how they feel. If you want to develop an A+ student mentality, you must build unshakable discipline. Discipline starts with structure. The best students create a daily routine and stick to it. They set a specific time for studying and they treat it as a commitment that cannot be broken. They don't make excuses or let distractions get in the way. They know that consistency is the key to mastering any subject. When you train your brain to follow a structured routine, studying becomes a habit rather than a struggle. Procrastination is the enemy of discipline. Many students put off studying until the last minute, thinking they will be more productive under pressure. But procrastination leads to stress, poor retention, and average results. The most disciplined students take action immediately. They don't wait until an assignment is due or an exam is near. They start preparing long before deadlines approach. They break their work into smaller tasks and tackle them one by one, which makes learning more manageable and effective. Self-betrayal is a fundamental part of discipline. The ability to delay gratification separates high achievers from the rest. While other students waste time on entertainment, disciplined students make the sacrifice to stay ahead. They understand that success requires short-term discomfort for long-term rewards. They don't allow temporary pleasure to distract them from their goals. Every time you choose to study instead of wasting time, you are strengthening your discipline and bringing yourself closer to success. Discipline also requires mental toughness. There will be days when you feel tired, bored, or frustrated. There will be moments when you want to give up. But the students who achieve the highest levels of success push through these moments. They don't allow their emotions to control their actions. They remind themselves of their goals and keep moving forward no matter how difficult it gets. Resilience is a skill that must be developed, and the only way to build it is by facing challenges head on. One of the most effective ways to strengthen discipline is to remove unnecessary decisions. Every time you have to decide whether to study or do something else, you are giving yourself an opportunity to choose the wrong path. Instead, make studying a default action. Set a fixed study schedule. Prepare your materials in advance and eliminate distractions before you start. When you remove obstacles, it becomes easier to stay disciplined. The road to success is not easy, but it is simple. It requires daily effort, consistency, and the willingness to do what others won't. Every time you choose to study when you don't feel like it, every time you resist distractions, every time you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you are building a foundation for success. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you develop through practice and commitment. The strongest students are not the ones with the most talent. They are the ones who have mastered the ability to take action even when it's hard. 7. Learn to love challenges. Most students see challenges as obstacles, but top students see them as opportunities for growth. When something is difficult, it means you're stretching your mind, developing resilience, and expanding your ability to think critically. The best learners embrace struggle because they know that real learning happens outside their comfort zone. When you solve a tough problem, push through frustration, or overcome a setback, your brain grows stronger. If something is easy, it's not helping you improve. Instead of avoiding difficult subjects or topics, lean into them. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Train yourself to see difficulties as a chance to sharpen your skills. When you shift your mindset from avoiding hard things to embracing them, you gain confidence, adaptability, and mental toughness. Challenges are not a sign to quit, they are a sign that you are on the path to growth. The best students don't back down from struggle, they see it as a necessary part of success. 8. Push past failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the process. Every successful student, leader, and innovator has failed multiple times. What separates high achievers from the rest is their ability to push past failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. If you get a low grade, struggle with a subject, or make mistakes, don't let it define you. Instead, analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and try again. The most successful students don't let setbacks break them. They use them as motivation to improve. Every failure is a lesson if you choose to learn from it. The key is to develop a mindset that sees failure as temporary and growth as permanent. When you stop fearing failure, you start unlocking your full potential. 9. Stay consistent. Success is not about one big effort, it's about the small actions you take every single day. The best students don't rely on last-minute cramming or bursts of motivation. They build steady, disciplined study habits that keep them ahead. Even when they don't feel like studying, they show up and put in the work. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum makes learning easier. When you study a little every day, concepts stay fresh in your mind and your brain processes information more effectively. The key is to develop routines that make studying automatic. Set a schedule, stick to it, and make learning a daily habit. Progress comes from repetition, and mastery is built over time. The students who achieve the highest results aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the ones who keep showing up day after day without making excuses. 10. Surround yourself with winners. The people around you influence your mindset, habits, and level of success. If you surround yourself with lazy, unmotivated people, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you spend time with disciplined, ambitious, and hardworking individuals, their energy and drive will push you to do better. Top students seek out those who inspire them, challenge them, and encourage them to grow. They study with focused peers, ask questions to those who know more, and engage in conversations that expand their thinking. Your environment shapes your outcomes, so be intentional about who you spend time with. Find mentors, teachers, and friends who push you toward excellence. The right people will hold you accountable, support your goals, and help you reach higher levels of achievement. So finally, an A+ student mentality isn't about being naturally gifted. It's about mastering focus, discipline, and consistency. It's about setting clear goals, eliminating distractions, and embracing challenges as stepping stones to success. The top students don't wait for motivation. They build habits that keep them moving forward every single day. They don't fear failure, they learn from it. And most importantly, they surround themselves with winners, people who push them to be better. If you commit to these principles, success isn't a possibility, it's a certainty. Your success is in your hands. Now is the time to take action, develop the mindset, and become unstoppable. If you found value in this, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more powerful motivation right here on Motive 8 Track.